Instead you can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song.
Welcome to Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged with your host, Brain Fitzpatrick. Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged is a snapshot of the day-to-day experiences of disabled individuals as they navigate the world around us. We wish to shed light and open your eyes on a new perspective of people with disabilities. And by going unplugged, we can discuss viewpoints we hope will challenge our viewers' points of view. Most of us have disabilities we must live with, but what defines us is the way we deal with them. And now, here's your host, Brain Fitzpatrick.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brain Fitzpatrick, bringing you an episode of Wheeling the Pathways of Life. I hope everybody had a good week last week. And thanks to UCP for coming on the week before to talk about their programming and what they do and what I do on a weekly basis and what they empower me to do on a daily basis. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about empowering the consumer plus empowering the staff to do what they need to do. Okay? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people get confused. And that's why I like to remind people sometimes. The PCA program, Personal Care Attendant Program, for those people that don't know, is governed by the state of Massachusetts. But it is most agencies, quote-unquote agencies, do not oversee the PCA program. Yes, there is oversight, but they don't have an agency like UCP overseeing your program. The oversight for me comes in when you deal with MRC and that kind of situation. Well, what the MRC, what Massachusetts Rehabilitation does is it allows UCP to come in and oversee the program for Massachusetts Rehabilitation Commission, because I can't be here all the time to oversee the program. Normally, in the PCA program, the day-to-day operations are solely governed by the clients and governed by the day-to-day operations, governed by the clients and what they need and what they want. Where it gets into a sticky point is for those people who can't do um, can't do the paperwork, can't set up interviews, or quite frankly can't remember if they did something or not that day that may inhibit somebody from getting paid for that day, so they put in what they call a surrogate. I know I've gone over this a lot, but I just like to start this episode by saying, reminding people about how things work, so then I can get into more detail about what I want to talk about today. Um, so there is a fine line between what I can do and what UCB can do as far as managing the program. Prime example, if I hire somebody without hiring them through UCP, then I am responsible for making sure the query gets done. If I want a query, but if they're hired through UCP, then they do the query for me. Now, there are some hours that are paid by both. Okay. MRC gives me a certain number of hours during the week that are paid for by MRC, and the PCA program gives me a certain number of hours that are paid for by them. Alright. And that is how the PCA program gets paid. So during the PCA program hours, if I hire somebody to do just those hours, then I'm responsible for finding a notary and going to a bank and getting the notary to sign the query paperwork to do the query. Now, you may ask, the reason why I bring this up, you may ask, why, if you have a surrogate, why can't the surrogate do it? Well, the surrogate is UCP. The surrogate is a person within UCP, but UCP takes responsibility for everybody they could. And if I hire someone and say they don't work out, and say somebody finds out they don't work out, then it gets into an issue where the agency is called in on the carpet because they say, why did you hire that person? Well, then if they did the query, then then the agent, then the employer can say, sorry guys, then the employer can say, well, UCB did the query, so they're responsible for having me. They have to give me workman's comp and all this. That is why they don't do the query all the time for the PCA program. So it's about responsibility and it's about liability as far as the paying sources have to be separate in order for them not to be held responsible in some cases. Now, here's another one. It's very complicated, but very easy to explain. Now, UCB is a surrogate thing, but if UCB as a surrogate, if UCB feels that I'm doing something wrong, okay, in hiring a PCA, well, they have the right to say, no, I can't hire them. But if I insist and hire them anyway on my own, then they have the right not to be my surrogate anymore. And therefore I lose the services through UCP and MRC because MRC doesn't want to take responsibility. I mean, the state can't take responsibility for something they didn't feel is right. Now, the reason why I'm telling you all this, and the reason why I'm telling you all this is to tell you that the PCA program is an independent program. Okay? It's supposed to be independent programming. Because it was designed for people that can run their own programming. It's designed for that purpose. Well, it's not designed for people that need services like me, but we try to make it work so that I can get the best of both worlds. So in actuality, folks, I am the boss of the PCA program. But on paper, UCB is the boss. I know it's my program, but they facilitate the programming because I can't do the paperwork. Now, if they feel like I can't do something or don't do it well enough, they can take over for me. Sorry. I'm okay, guys. I just got some in my eye, but that's okay. I can deal with it. Um, what I'm trying to get is, what I'm trying to get to people is you guys need to understand that when developing this program, they just want to, the state doesn't want to take any responsibility, so it's like ad lib. They say, well, we're not responsible if somebody steals money or something like that from you. Well, in my opinion, you kind of are, because you're overseeing a service that people are coming in and taking care of clients that you're involved with. But because they don't want to take responsibility and they can't, they call it independence. But are we ever actually independent? And my answer is, we can do our own things, but the independence is one that, are we ever independent, meaning we need other people to do things for us. And because we need other people to do things for us, the only person that makes us independent, gives us choices, and the choices we can only make, is Jesus Christ. I mean, each day people say we can be independent, but they put rules in place, and I understand that rules are rules and things are the way they are for a reason. Okay? And I fully understand that, and this is just my opinion. But at the same time, I've always felt that's kind of misleading as far as the basic premise that the basic idea that the clients can make their own decisions, but most of the decisions that are made from a client standpoint. Now, mind you, I work with an agency that is very good at doing this with me for many years. So they take a lot of what I say into consideration. They give me the rights to say no or yes or whatever. But we all have guidelines. We all have things we need to do, and we all have situations and people controlling other people. Okay. We as human beings, none of us have actual control over everything we do. Our goal is to help other people live the best life they can under difficult circumstances. The whole idea of being disabled is we look at the physical disability. If my control room can go out with the camera for a minute, that would be great. If the camera can pull out for me. People think just because you got a physical disability, that means you are disabled. Okay? That means that because you're disabled, because you're in a wheelchair, you are therefore disabled. Well, what I'm telling you is, okay, Kelsey, you can go back in now. What I'm telling you folks is that just because you have just if you are able-bodied, quote unquote, you can still be disabled. In the way you think, in the way you act around people, in the way you discriminate, in the way you talk to people, in the way you act around other people. When you act fake, okay? When you act quote unquote fake, that is a disability in itself, as far as I'm concerned, because you're not acting in a way that shows your best shows your best shows your best part of you and gives you the opportunity to live out your purpose in life. So just because I have a physical disability does not mean, okay, that I am unable to communicate, unable to do what I need to do. Yes, I need a lot of help. I need people to do things for me. Okay? No, I need people to do things with me. I don't need them to do things for me. Now, there is a big difference between doing things for me instead of with me. Okay? UCP, the people that were here last week, they, as much as people like or dislike them and dislike what they do and stuff like that, in some cases, they are the most genuine and understanding people I know. Now, mind you, there are many agencies that are good for some people. I'm not saying they're not, but what I am saying is you need people that are going to be genuine people and listen to the needs. Now, one of the things we have talked about before is, and one of the things we talked about last week is putting together what about, in my case, it's what about Brian, it could be what about Bob, it could be what about Russ, it could be what about Kelsey, it could pick anybody's name. And what that book is, it's day-to-day activities, likes, dislikes, whatever you want it to be, whatever people need to know to work with you the best they can. Now, it can be a video. It doesn't have to be a binder. It can be a video as far as this is how you do this. This is how you use the lift. This is the situation. You do not have to basically what I'm saying is you can use this book to give people the true and accurate information. The book is not made by the agency or made by the state. It is made by the client. And the client is empowered to put in there whatever he wants to put in there, whatever she wants to put in there, that she or he feels that is important for people to know how they are, how the client interacts with other people so that they can get the most stuff out of what they need on a daily basis. What I'm going to do in a couple of weeks maybe is put together a PowerPoint and send it over to the studio, and then we will put put together. I will show you what a book like this takes to be put together and demonstrate some recommendations and some ideas on how to put a what about whoever book together. And what that can be is that can be a safety book, that can be a safety book, or like dislikes, what they like to eat. It's not necessarily just for somebody to not communicate. It makes things easier. It makes the communication easier for people who have a hard time understanding the disabled person, both physically understanding them, as far as how do you do that with this person. Sometimes demonstrations are great, but sometimes you just need a refresher on how to do things. And this is what this book is for. when we come back in a minute, folks, I will continue the conversation and tell you more about what's coming up in the future and more about what I'm doing at UCP. Thank you.
Letter said that you were leaving, but you did not know how long. I will never stop believing that one day you will return. Though the waiting is the hardest part of everything I do, I do confess it's getting better, knowing I will be with you. It's alright. It's okay. I won't worry about tomorrow, for it brings me one more day closer than I was to you, closer than I was to you. Yeah, yeah, now the question isn't will you, but what I want to know is when. If it's one day or a million, I will wait for you till then. And so I'm holding on to your word and the promises you made. So there is not one you have broken. There's not one I didn't take. It's alright. It's okay. I won't worry about tomorrow, for it brings me one more day closer than I was. It's alright. It's okay. I won't worry about tomorrow, for it brings me one more day closer than I was to you, closer than I was to you, closer than I was to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's okay, just one more day.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brian Fitzpatrick bringing you an episode of Wheeling the Pathways of Life. Thank you, Nick, thank you, Nick Winter from New Life Community Fellowship Church for bringing us that very special song. And yes, it's so true that it's okay. Things will be okay. When I was talking about being alone and being independent, yes, human beings aren't with us all the time, and human beings come and go. Come and go as sorry, folks. Come and go as everybody does. But, you know, he is one constant person. He is the ultimate caregiver. And with him, I will always be protected. And when you accept him in your life, and when you realize that when you're alone, you're not really alone. You just may not be able to see what he's doing. And he's put me, the ultimate caregiver, has put me in a position with the agencies that I'm with, UCP and MRC, Massachusetts Rehabilitation Commission, and the city of Pittsfield with Mayor Roberto, the mayor, I'm sorry, but, so what I'm saying is, basically, as I stumble over my words, sorry guys, is the fact that UCP and all these other agencies are empowering other people to, and empowering me to come see you and let you know what needs to, what I feel needs to happen. And what I feel needs to happen is people need to express themselves and what they need, because I don't care how many people get involved with people. I don't care how many people and how many agencies you're involved with. They can only be involved if you're involved. And you tell them what you need and what you want, or what you feel you need. And if it's feasible, let's see if we can get it done. I had a conversation with Randy, the guest that was here the other day, with Kristen. And I kept talking to him about getting another van for the agency. And he said to me, right, he didn't promise me anything, but he said, let me look into it and see what I can do. Let me look into it and see if I can find grants to get it done. And it wasn't a case of that's a bad idea. It wasn't a case of um, telling me something just to appease me. It was something to, it was a genuine, you've got an idea, let's see if it happens. Let's see if we can make it happen. It wasn't a question of, you're in a chair, you don't know what you're talking about. People really do take the time and understand and do what we as consumers and we as human beings can accomplish. They assist human beings supposed to help other people. And a lot of people think agencies are just there to be a pain in our necks. But remember, folks, the agencies, this is the one thing I want to really camp out on for a minute. And if you don't remember anything else that I say today, for the last 40 minutes or so, or however long I've been talking, the thing is, the agency people are just human beings. State, yeah, the state is involved with human beings. They make mistakes. We need to have understanding and understanding people's capacity and understanding that people need other people to do things. And my opinion is the person in control of these agencies ultimately is Jesus Christ. Whether they believe it or not, He's the one that says whether or not the agencies can do things. They may not be able to find the funding, but if the agencies really want to do something and there's a reason for it, mysteriously or not so mysteriously, in my opinion, the things that we want, things that He wants, more importantly, will be done. It just surprises me that in my opinion, and I don't have the numbers for this, I'll look it up, but in the healthcare, I'll look it up at some point and I'll give you the information, but let me just say this. In my opinion, the medical field, in so many cases, these medical providers and these wheelchair people take advantage of the people in wheelchairs in the fact that they know the insurance companies need the wheelchairs so they can charge whatever they want because they feel like, oh, You can't refuse what we want because you need this piece of equipment in this way. Well, let me tell you something. That is selfish. And yes, you may have things, you may be doing well now, but in your, in actually understanding what people need, it doesn't take much to pay attention to what other people need. It's not all about the bottom line like people would think it would be. It's about having a heart and understanding that you helping other people, and by you helping other people, it's helping you too. Now, it just so happens that in my opinion, UCB understands and is a family, but there are so many other families out there, and so many other people out there that actually do care about who they're taking care of and their family members. There are people that take people in to live with them, and they don't get paid for it all. They just do it because they genuinely love it. Yes, they may get paid for it, they may deal with it on a daily basis, but, you know, they don't do it for the money. They just do it because it's the right thing to do. And I'm doing this show because it's the right thing to do, and getting the information out there from UCB and from me in general to help other people. That's what I'm meant to do. Now, what I've talked about with Randy and what we are going to do is like what I was talking about last week is we are gonna have different departments from UCP come in on a semi-regular basis based on people's schedules and based on their availability. But what we are intending to do is show the strengths of both the staff to work with the clients, but more importantly, the opportunities there are for you to get involved and for you to ask questions and for you to ask me specifically in person questions about what I'm talking about and to give me your personal take on what I'm talking about. Next week I will make a graphic of this schedule. Since I was told the only thing I can do is make a graphic with the emblem, but I can talk as much as I want to about UCP and what they do and what other agencies do. Is I'll give you my schedule I am up in North Adams tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1:15, and I am down in Pittsfield on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 1:15. And what that is it's conversation with me. It's open. It's open chat hours with me. It's asking questions about anything from self-advocacy, getting the client so they can advocate for themselves like I am. I mean, I'm not the best advocate, I'm not the best speaker, but I try to do what I can. And it's for the families and for the parents of a disabled person to come in and ask me questions about what the family dynamic is in my life and how to navigate that in a non-personal way. General questions about how to request for services from other agencies, how to, and what the difference is between a closed referral and a open referral, and what kind of services you may need for your individual, or you can log into UCP when you're talking to me, and whether you're at UCP in North County or whether you're here in Pittsfield, you can log in. You can have no, you gotta have an appointment, but you can come in when you have the appointment and say, well, bye, I've got this situation. What do you think? And if I don't have the answer, I can point you in a direction. And I'd be more than willing to sit down with you in certain situations and talk to the person you need to talk to and kind of facilitate the connection between you, and with your permission and with, again, without violating privacy, and it is up to your family member or the family to keep someone like me advocating for them on a regular basis. It's not up to me, it's not up to you to make decisions for them unless they can't make decisions for themselves. So my hours again are 10 a.m. to 1:15 on in North County on Friday, and 10 a.m. to 1:15 on Tuesdays in Pittsfield at 208 West Street and 535 Current Highway in North Adams, Massachusetts. 535 Current Highway, and if you would like to make an appointment with me, in either one of those locations, you can either email me at Brian. Email me at Wheeling. I'm sorry today, I'm tongue tied. But Wheeling the Pathway of Life at gmail.com, and I will set up appointments with you and set up appointments with UCB so you can come in and sit down and talk to me, or ask questions by email and I will gladly get back to you, or email me your question and tell me I can contact you by phone, or don't do it now, but you can also give me, when you email me, if you want to, you can give me your phone number and stuff so we can communicate that way. But I am more likely to respond to you by email because I can then share the information with UCB and or the agency request, because there are many more agencies to deal with. With that, folks, Amy, we are just about out of time, but with that, folks, I just want to say, you can get hold of me at that end, get the information I just gave you, or you can continue to watch week after week, and I will have more information for you next week, same time, same bad channel, as they say. But we will see you all next week. Have a great week, and I will be back with some great information again next week. Thank you.
You can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song. 'Cause when the Spirit's moving is where we'll be done. You can bury the workman, but the work will go on.